1 acre is 5 million. I'm like, literally guys, 2016 and 2021, 5 years, the land has moved from 1 million to 5 million. And let me tell you guys, 2020, add 5 years to 2025, that same 1 acre is going to be how much? 10 million. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Excciiittteedddd and this is Excciiittteedddd rebranded. Guys, like I said, we are back with a bang. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. If you haven't subscribed, like this video if you enjoy it, give it a huge thumbs up, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below if you learned anything guys in particular. So in today's video I am going to be talking about factors to consider before you buy land. Okay, so let me give you guys like a basic story time of why exactly we have now entered into land. But if you're not aware, ONR essentially is an educative platform. So I want to educate my fellow youth, my African entrepreneurs, my subscribers with topics to do with business, topics to do with money, topics to do with investments, cryptocurrency, and honestly anything in particular that you could learn and I'm hoping you will utilize in your life. So I don't want you guys to be addicted watching my videos back to back but without action. Okay, so ONR is essentially an educative platform. If I learn something in particular, I will come and share with you guys. If I renew my passport, I will come and share with you guys. And if you haven't watched that video, kindly do. That's essentially what ONR is about. The story time I'm talking to you guys about is I have been meaning to own a piece of land, guys. Like, it's just been something. I don't know if it's because of our parents talk about owning land. It got embedded in my head so much that I kept telling myself when I make good money, I am definitely buying land. So guys, obviously if I'm intending to buy land, I will obviously research on how to buy land. I will come and tell you guys what I found. So this video is essentially purely based on research. To be honest guys, I have not bought land myself yet. But it's something on my vision board, you know, it's something I want to accomplish. So this video is based on the research that I found on the internet. It is not based on experience. So please, if I get some facts wrong, if I get some wordings wrong, comment down below and be like, Olive, it's not this, it's this. You know, I'm educating myself, but in the process sharing what I learn with you guys. So please, let's be kind in the comment section. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into this video. I want to shout out a company known as Goshen Acquisitions Limited. So I've been researching about land, buying land, owning land in Kenya. However, this particular company, their blog is really amazing, their YouTube channel is really amazing. So I'm really going to shout them out because they've helped me really helped me come up with this video. If you're looking to buy land from a company, I would suggest Goshen Acquisitions Limited. Definitely go and camp at the YouTube channel, especially if you're in diaspora or especially if you're very busy, to be honest, and you can't keep running around hiring a lawyer or doing due diligence and all this stuff. I just advise you to go to Goshen Acquisitions Limited. But anyway, this is not a sponsorship. We are not collaborating. We are not partners. Please go there as well at your own risk. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing something I really learned from their platform, and it is factors to consider before buying land. Okay, yes, you could have money seated in your bank, and yes, you could want to buy land, but there are things you need to consider before you make that step. So these are the things you're going to consider. So one is your investment objective. If you have watched my video, there are 2 videos on this channel, how to start investing for beginners. Let me tell you guys. If you watch those 2 videos, you will learn a lot. As a matter of fact, I learned a lot as well when I was researching about the investment route and learning about your risk tolerance, your risk appetite, your goals. Like, you don't just invest, guys. You need to know why and what exactly is your objective or goal in the long run. There are 3 investment objectives. 1 is income, 2 is stability, and 3 is growth. So again, if you've not watched that video, please do, so that this can make sense. Okay, with income, essentially you're trying to invest in land to generate cash for you. So a cash generating form of asset. So if you're buying land and your investment objective is income, what you would do is you would make the land work for you. You would probably buy land to dig a borehole and sell the water. And that's what actually a landowner has done where I stay. There's a land he bought right next to this apartment I'm staying, and the land is really not in use per se, but he dug a borehole and he connected the borehole to literally all the apartments, including the one I stay in. Or you would buy land in a quite a populated area, somewhere that you know there's a lot of urbanization going on, where rental units could be needed. You would buy land in a populated area where maybe you would plan to build residential units for you to be able to create an income from them. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. So the second investment objective is growth. So growth is in the sense that you buy land in an area that you believe the value of land will appreciate in value. So obviously this is going to come with overtime, and most of the time I hear people say he bought an acre for I think 100,000, and now an acre is like $1 million plus. So if you look at the capital gains of that, it's because the value of the land has grown in value over time. So if you're looking at more of like an investment objective for growth, where you're looking to get capital gains from the land, then you're probably going to just hold the land and you're waiting for the land to appreciate in value, then subdivide it or fragment it and do what? And then sell and get your money. Then the third way you can look at buying land, or an investment objective you could look at it from, is either safety and stability. This is whereby you have invested maybe in stocks, in crypto, you have a business, and you're like, I really want to just diversify my portfolio. So if you don't know, land is called a hard asset. So in the sense that it's really difficult for you to convert it into cash immediately. So what people do is, if you want to just hold your money or diversify your portfolio and you want to invest long term and you're not in a hurry, most of the time people just invest in land. Why? Because it's safe, guys. Land is God made. Like the land is land. Like it doesn't go anywhere, to be honest. You could look at safety and stability in the sense that you buy land because you plan to build a retirement home in the future, or you plan to settle there officially. And I'm going to merge investment objective with investment goal. Many people buy land for different uses, but it's good to know also the goal you're trying to buy that land for. So don't just buy land if your goal doesn't meet why you're buying the land for. There are people who buy land mainly for retirement purposes, not even to build there, but just to be able to sell, because if they bought the land now, 30 years later, I swear that land will be very pricey. They usually say the cheapest time to buy land is now because this is the cheapest it'll ever be. Because again, let me tell you guys, when I was in school, 2016, I used to hear 1 acre is like 1.8 million, for example, in the outskirts. Now you hear 1 acre is 5 million. I'm like, literally guys, 2016 and 2021, 5 years, the land has moved from 1 million to 5 million. And let me tell you guys, 2020, add 5 years to 2025, that same 1 acre is going to be how much? 10 million. So you're just there like, the cheapest time to buy land is now. That's what they say. Point number 2 is decide how much you want to spend. Let me tell you, when I was doing research, I really learned that the difference between land is the location. Let me tell you, Nairobi, Kanairo is expensive. It's expensive, guys. Land in Nairobi is bloody expensive. Like, it's unreal, guys. Like, it's really unreal. How are the youth meant to afford land in Nairobi? You know, I don't know. So if you're planning to buy land in the outskirts, at least 2 to 3 hour drive away from Nairobi is definitely cheaper. And to be honest, I have considered buying land in outskirts of Nairobi, and I'm talking about Syokimau, Nanyuki, Naivasha, Kajiado, you know, those places that are really not so close to Nairobi, but again, they're like not that far, because I don't want to be like a buyer who's never there. So yeah, guys, you have to decide how much you want to spend. If you're planning to spend less, or your budget is less, I would urgently consider you to just consider outskirts, because with outskirts you're going to get more for the money. And then the thing I remember reading is land, like we talked about earlier, is an hard asset. Therefore, it knows how to tie the cash. You could be looking for a buyer for years and years, and you might still not find a buyer. So if you're investing in land, let's just get this clear. You're not planning to sell the land tomorrow or in a year or in 2 years or in 3 years. You could, guys, you could, but that's not like your mentality type of way of thinking. You get what I mean? So when you're buying land, think very, very long term. From Goshen Acquisitions Limited, one of their videos, and I just decided to share because it's really such a nice story. So he was saying that the owner, I think I've forgotten the name, Solomon, I don't know, Solomon Wangwe, I think so. He said his mom bought land in 1989 in Syokimau.
1989, my mom bought a piece of land in Syokimau. It was 5 acres at the time. She paid 250,000 shillings for that piece of land. And I believe she did it against my dad's wishes. It didn't make sense. I remember we drove down there was no roads. Fast forward to today, both my parents are retired. And if she hadn't made that investment, they would have a completely different quality of life. A few years ago, she subdivided that piece of land and she sold 1/4 of an acre for 2.5 million shillings. Just do the math.
1/4 an acre goes for 2.5 million. So legit, 5 acres was 250, and now that same 5 acres is roughly 50 million. Guys, 50 million Kenya shillings. Are you not set for retirement? Are you not set for retirement? You are. Like 1989 is like 20 years from today. Wait, 1989 is how many years? 32 years, guys. 32. So essentially, if I buy land today, I don't even have anything to say, guys. If I buy land today and I wait for 32 years, that's 57 years later. Like when I'm 57 years, that's mad. That's okay. You know what? Yeah. The third tip I learned is, again, remember your investment goal, or rather your final goal. So what I learned from this topic is essentially, if you're buying land and you plan to sell immediately or faster, then obviously you'd have to consider buying land where it's kind of developed, where there's like utilities such as electricity, sewerage, water system, you know, like that is the only way you're going to be able to sell it faster. However, guys, if your goal is, I don't intend to touch this land for a very long time, then utilities will not really be an issue. Roads would definitely not be that much of an issue, because eventually, guys, I mean 20-30 years, there will be roads probably everywhere. So again, your end goal really matters, and that's why you really need to evaluate yourself, evaluate your investment objective, evaluate the amount of money you have, evaluate the location you plan to spend on, so that your end goal can make sense and you can evaluate and see. For example, I'm 25. If I'm planning to have children and I want to be able to afford their university, because I think by the time we are parents, by the time our children are like in uni, the amount of money we shall be coughing is not a joke. So I can probably plan and tell myself I'll buy land now, because I know by the time my child reaches 10 years, I can probably sell that land to offset and help me pay for my child's livelihood, education, and whatnot. So that's the mindset I'm having, guys. That's the mindset I'm having, okay? Fourth factor you need to consider before you invest in land is, how long do you want to own this land? What's your time duration to own this land? If you plan to buy this land and hold it for long, then you can buy land in those places that we don't know names. We had to Hatujui, like, you know what I mean? I'm not about to throw names and then maybe some of you guys live there and then you comment down below. But you know those places that we don't really know? If you're not planning to sell that land that fast, you can buy in those places. You know, your duration also matters. If you're trying to buy, like the case of the mom buying land in Syokimau in 1989, I am hella sure that everyone in the family was like, huh? But you know, her investment has really kept them safe for retirement. So same thing, if you're planning to hold this land for years, then you can buy in places that we don't know the name. You know, we don't know where that is. However, if your duration of ownership is, to be honest, less than 10 years, because when I'm looking at land, I'm like, less than 10 years, then obviously buy land in places where there are neighbors, there's some familiarity, people know the name. You know, Nakuru, we know, Naivasha, we know. Once we start talking about some places, we are just like, where is that? Where is that? So definitely consider that. If you want to grow your savings for the land or the value of the land quicker, and you want a quicker exit strategy as well, or you want to be able to sell in a shorter period of time, then definitely consider buying land in a familiar place. Because again, what will happen is, if it's in a familiar place, it's going to be easy for you to attract buyers for that land. So essentially, just buy in a kind of developed place, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so the last factor you should consider before you buy land is definitely make a point to show up physically, you know, to drive there to see the land. And I think in the research I have done, like, guys, if there is something they insist, is being there physically. And you know, this point really reminded me when I was moving out, and a friend of mine was moving out, and they wanted to get a house, so they went online and they got this house online. The person was like, the house is here, but they never went. Then they sent deposit only for them to go pick the key and realize that the house doesn't exist. And I remember telling my mom, and my mom was like, Olive, this is Kenya. You never pay for something you've not seen. Let me tell you, I think I should do a video on tips for moving out just because it was interesting. What people don't realize is you can't just shop for a house online. I know there are websites that claim they can, but guys, you will be conned. So it's the same thing with land, and I don't want to enter so much with the moving out, but let me give you a story. Even when you're moving out, you have to go see the apartment, you have to look for the caretaker. And let me tell you, nowadays even the caretaker is like an adanganya. So for example, what I learned is there's some apartments, if the caretaker is never there, you will find a guy come and pose like they are the caretaker, but in reality they are not the caretaker. So even just finding the caretaker, they give you the landlord or the landlady's number, you know, things like never pay the money to the caretaker, like it's a lot. But it's just the same thing with land. You can't be told there is land at Nanyuki and then you believe, and you've not driven there. If you're buying land in Nanyuki, drive there and see this land. And I'll share in my series on how to purchase land in Kenya, something that I learned is you might even be shown this land, but guys, uko kwa map, Ministry of Lands, that's not the land that they are claiming they are showing you. Land, yani this land by Kenya thing is just so dramatic, madness. So anyway, guys, make a point to visit, make a point to see where the land is, make a point to know who the neighbors are, make a point to ask as many questions as possible. And I'm going to share in-depth tips and in-depth research processes that you should take when you're purchasing land to see for yourself, and not just believe what you're being told or believe what is online or just believe in a company, because guys, nowadays even companies are going down. Those are the 5 main tips that you need to consider before buying land. However, in the next video, I want to show you guys the step-by-step process you need to consider while you purchase your land. So again, like I said, guys, you could look for a company, make your process a bit more seamless and buy from a company. Again, you still need to do your due diligence, but that is another way. Yeah, that is pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed this video, kindly hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if there's another factor we need to consider before buying land. Okay, and again, shout out to Goshen for their blogs, for their articles. A lot of this material came out from their platform. They really have done a good job in educating the masses about purchasing land in Kenya. But that is pretty much it. Bye, see you on the next one.